Hey Danger, got a two-part question for you. One, what is your advice for those who still believe in old school dating but are trying to date amongst this generation? And two, why can't guys commit nowadays?
Once again, excellent question. So this is the answer to the second part of the question, or maybe it was the first part of the question. I don't recall, but it's one of them. So thank you for the question. Keep them coming. Don't forget to add some comments. I like to get your feedback. Also hit like, hit share. If there's a love button, hit that. Love button. I like that. Yes, hit the love button. All right. So how do you navigate relationships nowadays as a woman? Given how men's hesitation, reasonable hesitation, I might add, to not commit. And in dating in the modern world being the way it is. All right, so a couple things. Watch the first, or if it's the second video, that was the answer to the two-part question that you sent in. Watch that. It's the first thing you do, because the advice I'm going to give you is general advice here. Or the first advice I'm going to give you is general advice. And that general advice is quite simple. Embrace trying to understand male behavior and psychology, male needs, male wants, their desires, okay? And again, I know you probably do, but if you can understand where a man's coming from and you can empathize with them, it's going to make it 100% easier to get a man to commit to you. Because they can feel, just like you can feel when a man is desperate and it's a turnoff for you, a man can feel when he is used as a, not that you're doing that, but if he feels like he's being a pawn on somebody's life chessboard, he's out. If he feels like he's one of many other guys, unless he's desperate or jealous or any of those things, insecure, that sort of stuff, he's not going to commit to you. And if he does commit to you under those circumstances, it's not going to be good for either one of you anyway. What I would suggest is getting to learn about what guys actually want and what guys respond to and what guys need. You made a good point. It's very difficult nowadays, especially with all the options out there, with Tinder and Instagram is showing their ass all over Instagram, all in weird places, and I guess that's become the norm now, which is very bizarre. Not that I mind as a guy, right? The bachelor part of me loves that. But am I going to commit to any of those girls? Yeah, that's another story. I don't know. That would be a little tougher. That's part of it. And you're dealing with all that. And you're dealing with the competition of all these other women that are willing to do that. Now, the good news for you is, and this is some other advice, the good news for you is, because guys are so used to seeing that, the men of value that you're looking for, because the guys that you're probably looking for are going to be the ones that aren't going to be interested in that. Now, I'm a man's man. I love looking at scantily clad women. I love beautiful women. I love them. But does that mean, even as a man that enjoys looking at naked women, do I find it attractive necessarily? Maybe physically attractive, but do I find it attractive in a committal sense? No. No, I don't. I think it's kind of desperate and it's kind of bizarre, and it's attention seeking, which reeks of insecurity. And insecurity is not usually attractive if it's coming off as in a desperate way. And if you're showing your ass to the world out of context, no, I don't find it. I'm not trying to be judgmental. I just personally, I don't think a lot of guys do, find that attractive, an attractive trait to be in a relationship with somebody as far as commitment's concerned. Now, would I sleep with someone like that? Certainly. Certainly, but am I going to take them seriously as somebody? No, because there's too many threats there, and there's probably 1,000 orbiting guys, and it's not attractive anyway. While that might seem detrimental to you, because, you may not be the type of girl that wants to do that, put herself out there like that. While that is a plus, believe it or not. And so while you might be competing with all these other women as far as having sex with other guys, I doubt that's what you're in it for. So, do the opposite. Be a woman who sets herself apart by having some class. Don't go throw yourself out there on Instagram all the time. Be sparse, be subtle, be scarce. Be somebody who's confident in themselves and how they carry themselves and what they want, what they're willing to settle for and what they're not willing to settle for. Not cocky, not braggadocious, not condescending, not prudish, by no means be prudish. but just someone who knows what they want, knows what they don't want. And it's like, look, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to throw my ass on there for everybody to see, because a guy will appreciate that. That means that what he's getting from you is just between he and you. What guy, what partner would want what is typically held as sacred within that relationship to be spread out all over the place? What guy would want that? Even if you are single, and it's your prerogative to do so, I'm not saying, hey, do you. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But there are unintended consequences of that. And guys will, like it or not necessarily judge you for it. Again, they'll sleep with you, but they're going to put you in that category. They're not going to take you seriously as somebody they're going to want to commit to. Does that make sense? So you set yourself out and be an example of somebody who doesn't do that. Don't appear desperate on social media. Don't show your ass to the entire world. You know, if it's a certain guy you like, by all means, do so. But don't do it to the entire world. Don't put on there all these cliche sayings and all that stuff that reeks of I've got nothing to do and I'm bored and please somebody pay attention. Be different. Stand out. Carry yourself with class. You know, not bitchy, but, you know, just cool. Be the cool chick. You know, that every guy loves. The other advice I'd give you is don't have any expectations. Because that'll work in any generation. This would have worked 20 years ago. This will work now. This will work 20 years from now. Don't have any expectations. Don't push anything. The expectations are killer. Insecurities, expectations, and miscommunication, or lack of communication, are the three killers for any sort of relationship or association, especially within the constructs of a romantic relationship. If you have all these expectations of how it should be, then don't have a relationship right now, because you're not ready for it. Be cool. Easier said than done for a lot of people, but that is how you navigate in general. How you navigate nowadays in light of all this craziness in the world of dating nowadays. Don't do what everyone else is doing. Don't be that sheep. That is how you set yourself apart from everybody else. I've said this in other videos. Some of the coolest girls I've ever met that I would consider dating were not people that even hardly participated in social media. And that's not the only criteria, by the way. It doesn't mean you do or do not have to be on social media. It just means that they didn't have the need to. They were living their own lives. They were confident within themselves. They had to share everything. They need likes to fuel their dopamine levels. They got that through living. And I found those women to be very, very interesting. They weren't pompous. They weren't prudish. They weren't arrogant. They were just cool. Just cool, like, you know, down to earth, what have you. And I think that's how you stand out. That's how you navigate it. And the last piece of advice I'll give you is general information. I think it holds true here as well. Like attracts like. Therefore, if you want a man of value, the type of guy that you're looking for, you have to become that person that type of guy is going to want. Now, that doesn't mean that you get to become an entirely different person. No, of course not. Be you. But if you're putting out a certain type of vibe, you're going to attract a certain type of guy, right? So become what you want to attract, whatever that is. Become what you want to attract. If you want a classy guy, be a classy girl yourself. If you want a trashy guy, be a trashy guy. Be a trashy girl, right? I mean, it's oversimplified, but there you have it. And that's good advice for any generation, no matter what you're trying to navigate. Ignore the technology and all that. Forget about it. What's attractive is attractive in human beings. So it's in here, it's in here, it's in here. That's what's attractive. So it doesn't really matter nowadays, 20 years ago, 50 years from now. It's going to be the same. But in order to stand out, do the opposite. Be cool. All right. Until next time, danger out. Hopefully I've helped you a little bit. Again, like the channel, share the channel, love the channel. Throw some comments my way. Please keep the questions coming. I love answering them. They're fun. I'll see you guys out and about. And I'm more than willing to have you buy me a drink. Live dangerously, my friends.